everybody. Welcome to Around the Verse. This is our very first show, which we're very excited about. I'm Sandy Gardner, the VP of Marketing, and
I'm Ben Lesnick. I'm Community Manager and Designer in Star Citizen. And we're basically here to take you even closer to the nerve center of the game. We're operating out of CIG Santa Monica here with Chris Roberts and the team. A lot of people are kind of confused about Santa Monica. They think, oh, it's the marketing office. Oh, it's the glossy business office. Hey, this is Ben Lesnick from Star Citizen Marketing. I'm calling about the freelancer campaign. We need to get this thing out to everybody. I want it on the side of buses. I want it on movie posters. I want it etched on the moon. Oh, you can't do that? Well, then you're worthless. Ciao, baby.
I got your drink, sir.
Damn it, James. It's not a cosmopolitan if it doesn't have a colorful plastic sword. Get it the hell out of here.
Sorry, sir.
He had one job. But seriously, folks, when we said we were moving the show to Los Angeles, we heard that it was going to be this Hollywood affair, shallow, not involved with the game, and what we want to show you is that that's as far from the truth as possible. Here in Santa Monica, we have a hardworking team of artists, designers, programmers. They're the guys who built the Star Citizen dogfighting module, and they're going to be building the next parts of the verse. So let me take a page from Wingman and give you a little tour, introduce you. Please, come with me. Well, welcome to Cloud Imperium Santa Monica. Let me show you around, show you some of the members of the team. And our very first team member is May. Say hi, May.
hi.
She keeps everything running here. This is our conference room where we talk with the other offices in Manchester and Austin, and as well as all of our artists partners around the world. Let me take you upstairs. That's where the real work happens. This is our writer's room. We have Harry Jarvis, who you know from Austin.
Hello.
It's our newest writer, William.
Hey, how's it going?
And of course, the legendary Dave Haddock.
Hello.
What you guys working on?
Writing? Yeah.
There you go. You heard it here first. It's an Around the Verse exclusive. Over here we have a selection of our fantastic programmers. This is the office of the man himself, Mr. Chris Roberts. But in fact, this is not Chris Roberts. This is Dennis Daniels, our long-suffering IT guy. Over here we have our production pit. This is where Travis Day and Alex Mayberry are when they're not at E3. And here we have the Santa Monica Art Room with our famous hair model, Dave Hobbins. Head back here, we go to the community area. That's where I live and where we're going to be showing the show. We've got William and James, and that's my desk over there where I'll be sitting with Sandy and taking you around the verse. Over here is our customer service area. Chelsea is out sick today, but she sits there with all the candy. Guys, Chelsea loves candy. This is Alexis, does merchandise and customer service. And in that room over there would sit Sandy Gardner. She is off at a business meeting at the moment. So that is Cloud Imperium Santa Monica. We are stuffed with people right now. It reminds me of Austin in the early days. But we're excited to show you guys what we can do. So let's take it away, Around the Verse. I think that one went much better. And of course, we'd like to thank Eric Wingman Peterson. He did an amazing job for 72 episodes of shows. He's gone back to producing game now, where he's absolutely needed because this project is just getting bigger and bigger. So yeah, we actually did a marketing survey, and people said they wanted someone fatter than Wingman. So here I am. And they wanted someone prettier than Wingman, so here I am.
Oh, come on. Wow. All right. No, you're actually quite pretty.
But yeah, we're really eager to have you guys here and to show you more of Star Citizen every week. And moving on to our first interaction with the community, we asked our backers to come up with a logo for the show.
We had lots of super cool logos.
They
and we're
were
kind of fighting on which one that should win.
We had quite a debate. In fact, we had over 150 submissions. In fact, check some of these out. We had a hard time deciding. In fact, we couldn't decide. We had to narrow it down to 3 people. We've got a logo from Disco Lando, a logo from Void Dude, and a logo from Con Ellen that we're going to be using at different points in the show. They're all really cool, and hope you enjoy them.
So, we have something very exciting, which has been going on. The freelancer sale is going great, and I hope you picked up your freelancer. It's not a sales plug. They're just very cool. The commercial, hope you enjoyed that as well.
It's a really cool commercial.
So it's only till Friday, right, that you have to pick up your MISC?
Yeah, if you want a Freelancer MIS or the Freelancer MIS package, you only have until Friday. We may offer it again at some point, but this is our limited ship like the Super Hornet. And I know my wife is in CS. I know that they get emails constantly. Can I have a Super Hornet? Can I have the 350R? Get it now.
Okay, what else have we got going?
Yep,
Everybody's enjoying dogfighting?
Absolutely. Tens of thousands and dogfighting matches have happened in the last couple days. It's incredible looking at the numbers and getting the feedback from users. You're helping us make this game better. We're QA, design, programming is all working 24/7 around the world at all our locations to improve the experience, to get it great. We love the fact that you enjoy it, and it's just going to get better from here. I hope I've given you the first taste of Star Citizen.
We should matchmake with some of our staff when that happens.
Yeah, that's definitely coming. And we're going to do it right here on the show, actually.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
So if you want to
I'm
battle,
up for it. I'm up for it.
You want to battle Sandy?
Yeah.
Get in line.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Sandy, what can you tell us about what's coming up for marketing?
What have we got going? Well, I'm just finishing the final touches on our Gamescom party. And I'm getting a lot of help from our fans, so thank you very much to you guys over in Germany. You've been incredibly helpful. We have quite a few volunteers for the Gamescom party, which is cool.
Yeah, we couldn't do these events without the community.
No, we couldn't, because things just like organizing 10 towers for people to play what we're going to showcase
Which
that
we
night.
Can't quite talk about yet.
That's redacted. But the party is going to be Friday, August 15th. So most people voted for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then
It's
you
going to be a
had-
good time.
Yeah.
Last year was just incredible.
Venue holds a couple of thousand people, so it's not the same place as last year. It's a bigger place than last year.
Cool. That's the first I've heard of that. That's good news because we packed it in last year.
Yeah, and I am locking down the Australia event. Looking at a very cool venue for that. Just have to check that we get enough bandwidth. So no bandwidth, no party. so I said, oh, well, we need, at least 10 megabytes up. And they're like, what? Yeah. I can't even do my Australian accent, so bad.
But you are actually Australian.
Yeah,
right?
I am. It's true. What else have we got? T-shirts should almost be ready. We have two styles of Arena Commander T-shirt. What else have we got going? Alexis has quite a bit of flair that she's working on. Alexis and I are working together on a lot of the merchandise.
Well, that is a great segue to the first of our new segments. We'd like to turn it over to fan favorites Chelsea and Alexis with our best damn customer support team ever. They're going to answer some of your questions and tell you what's coming up for subscribers. Chelsea, Allie, take it away.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Customer Service Report. I'm Alexis and I would normally be joined by Chelsea, but she is out sick today, so James is taking her place.
And this is my new shirt. The biggest issue we're having in CS right now is people confused about the cross-chassis upgrade system. How it works currently is that you can only upgrade to ships that are already within the DFM, and as new ships are added, then you can upgrade from there. So CS can't help you get your constellation yet.
And I have an update about your exciting new hanger flare for subscribers this month. It is going to be the Freelancer MIS model. You'll get a special stand for it, and you'll even get a very cool box that the model came in. So look for that in your hangers this week.
Thanks very much, ladies.
Very cool. And we're returning some favorite segments from Women's Hangar also. So here is William Lewis with My Old Job, MVP.
Hey everybody, I'm lead moderator Will, and I'm here to bring you this week's MVP. This week's MVP goes to Leon300 for his thread about tips and tricks and general help in Arena Commander. He goes into the HUD and explains the different systems, and he talks about the basic controls. So thanks Leon300, you're this week's MVP.
Thanks, William. Doing a great job with that. We are now here with Travis Day, our dogfighting producer for Arena Commander. Hi, Travis.
Hello, guys.
How are you today?
I'm doing just great. I'm well rested now.
Well,
Much better.
You were the very first guest on Around the Verse, so welcome.
I feel honored.
And I think everybody out there is very happy with the job you've been doing.
Well, I hope so. The community feedback so far, at least, seems pretty positive, and it is good to get the criticisms on the things that we need to improve on, because that's the whole plan with the rollout of the patches.
How do you feel having it out there in the world?
It feels good. It's kind of starting to feel like a woman who was like 10 months pregnant or something. I just wanted to get it out of me. Just get out there.
A lot of us felt that way at this point.
Thank you for sharing.
Yes, you know.
So here's an actual woman, and we.
We've
Yeah.
actually been okay.
Yeah, it's like being pregnant. It's,
Okay.
So
no.
let's switch gears. Tell us a little about yourself. How did you get into the game industry?
Probably because I guess I wasn't more clever to come up with something else. Like all my parents are in the games business, and I divorced, so there's 4 of them. And I feel like I just kind of took the path of least resistance and what I knew best. Because I always think to myself, I could have been an astronaut or a doctor, or like a Navy SEAL, and instead I just ended up doing the same thing that my parents did.
What did your parents do in the game industry?
So my dad actually worked at Electronic Arts before he had his own company. So
No, a publisher.
I know, right? He actually was at one point Chris's producer for Wing Commander, 3, 4, and then did 5. My mom had her own company, did Humongous Entertainment and Cave Dog Interactive. My stepdad was Ron. Ron did like Monkey Island, Maniac Mansion, and Total Annihilation with Chris Taylor. And then my stepmom was, once again, drumroll, evil publisher, director of marketing for Electronic Arts.
Well, we've got our director of marketing here.
I'd agree.
Yeah, no, it's actually,
Lucky
it's
you.
funny. That's how I learned my vowels growing up. So it's A-E-I-O-U, and I could never remember that, so I always did a different way, which was E-A-I-O-U, because they paid for everything in my life, because everybody in my family worked for them at one point.
You're funny. Well, I have some questions from the fans.
All right.
Yeah? Veratus would like to know, is there a release schedule for the playable ships in Arena Commander?
Yes, there is. It is something that we want to try and get every single-seater ship out first. The multi-crew ships are going to be a little bit more complex on the back end of the technology, because we have to separate the physical grids so that you can actually walk around in your ship. Because right now, if you were to get out of your seat, your ship would just kill you with the physics momentum. So single-seater ships are all on the agenda first, then all their variants, and then multi-crew ships. That's kind of the rough outline of how we're going to proceed.
All right. Damage Inc. would like to know, what is the average time it takes for a build cycle, as in fix bug, compile, test, and document, repeat?
I think that would be a good thing to answer, considering how many people were like incredibly distraught on Tuesday night. As we were sitting there on chat roll, we have the final build building and deploying, and everybody's getting really impatient. So it was probably, to answer that question, the best way to put it is the bugs, I can't tell you how long it'll take to fix, because every bug's different.
Yeah, that's one thing I think a lot of people don't understand. They'll see a list of 30 bugs, and we have them overnight, and then there'll be one bug that we'll have for 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's a very fair point. I mean, some of them, the hardest ones, especially when you move to release, you don't have any of the debug info because you're running in release mode, and so some of these bugs can take forever to track down. But to answer the original question, really it's however long the bugs take to fix. Once we think that we have them all, and that's the important thing, is think we have them all fixed, they get peer reviewed. So if it's an engineer, another engineer will go read his code and make sure it all looks right and he's not going to break anything else. They check in, the build process kicks off, and our build process builds 3 different builds. So it builds the release build that you'll get as consumer, it builds the profile build that we use generally to test around here, and then it also builds the debug build. And then the servers in all those same modes, and a Linux version of the servers in all those same modes. So there's, anytime we kick off a build, it's like 9 to 10 different builds that actually build, along with all the assets, and that process takes about 3 hours. And then to deploy them out, if we're going to publicly release it to the CDN, is about another 2 hours, depending on how much bandwidth we're getting that day and how well the CDN's receiving it. Then from there, and this is the last step, I promise, I know. Then from there, because it's a content delivery network, we upload to one central node, and that's one server, and then they're set up to basically propagate that data out to all their global network of servers so that everybody in different locations around the world can download from a local server at a good speed. And that process takes about a half hour as well.
All right, so that sounded like 3.5 hours average time.
Yeah, and it took me almost as long to answer the question as it would actually take to deploy the build.
It's rough. How different do you think is Star Citizen compared to other projects regarding production and project management? Is it special compared to your previous work?
Yes. No.
Why don't you tell us?
Yeah.
No, I mean it is. It really, really, truly, it is because usually when you work on a game, you have basically two teams. You have the team of the publisher and you have the team of the developer, and both of those are usually centrally located within themselves. And here on Arena Commander, we had 7 different studios, and then 8 if you include the art outsourcing as well, working on the game at any one time. So the communication and coordination of all those people across 8 different time zones is just crazy. Aaron, actually, Chris's brother, had a really good system because we were kind of looking at it going, oh my God, these time zones are going to kill us. And he was really supporting the idea of using the time zones to our advantage. And so what we ended up doing is basically having development on Arena Commander 24 hours a day by doing handoff emails from each studio that says, hey, okay, here's the issues of the day, here's where we got, here's where we didn't finish, can you look at these? And passing them all around the world in a leapfrog fashion. Unfortunately, there's a big gap at the back end of that between LA and UK, so that generally had me here till about midnight or 2 in the morning so I could meet with them and do the handoff.
Now, to give us a little bit of context, why don't you tell us what you've worked on in the past?
Oh, in the past, I've worked on such classic hits as WALL-E and Up and SpongeBob Truth or Square.
All right.
I guess for the flight sim fans out there, I worked on a little known fact. So DCS A10 simulator is actually entirely made by it's entirely made by Black Shark. But before that, we were doing that game for DARPA and the Department of Defense as they were upgrading the A10 to the A10C with the multifunction displays. So I actually worked on that game, as it was a military simulator to be used for training. And then I left that company and went to work for Activision, and about 6 months after I started working at Activision, I saw that they had released the simulator we had made as a final commercial product, which was a good way for them to double dip on that. Other than that, I worked on Deadpool, Amazing Spider-Man 2, did PR for Transformer War for Fall of Cybertron, and 007 Legends. So
The EA, Activision, you're really hitting them all.
yeah.
I mean,
We've
No,
beaten
it
it
was-
out of you, though.
Yeah, no, seriously. Actually, I am, I guess, a reformed, a reformed worker for the evil empire. I mean, the reality is, like, working there, I definitely did not fit in, and it was such a breath of fresh air to come here.
oh no, you don't
because-
fit in here either.
Damn it! There is no home for me.
Carpa Kalem, what's the toughest bug you've had to deal with in the game thus far?
So, toughest is probably a good question for a programmer. I can tell you, for me, the most recurring issue, which makes it the most frustrating, is problems with the eyes. Like, I don't know why, but the character's eye in every single build gets completely completely messed up. Let's keep it PG. I don't know if you guys saw the posts out there where we had all the different examples of the ways. We had giant eyes, we had no eyes, we've had blacked out demon eyes, we've had glossed over dead eyes. But my favorite in the series was probably when we were getting actually right towards the release of Arena Commander. It was one of the last bugs we fixed. And periodically the Vandal would be flying around, but they would be these giant gray orbs, like kind of ovals, and we could not figure out why. And Oka finally looked at it and he was like, guys, it's the eyes again. And apparently the eyes of the Vandal pilot were breaking and exploding to be the size of like 4 scythes, and there was just these giant flying eyeballs. And that was one that we deemed we should probably fix before we released.
Templark, is there anything that you would change about Star Citizen if you could? Maybe something that is currently limited by technology.
Well, I want the multi-crew ships in there as soon as possible. And that's currently limited until we make some changes to the engine. But I don't know. I mean, it's really Star Citizen. One of the things that makes it, I think, really appealing and really cool is that it is like 5 games in one. It has the FPS. It has so many different aspects that appeal to so many different groups of people. So what could we do? I think I'd just do more of it. I'd do it deeper. I'd try to do it faster. If we could automate the creation of some of this stuff, like procedural generation is really appealing to me. Just to be able to push out more content. But if technology was more advanced, I think the one way I would improve Star Citizen is to make it real. Because I think it's a really cool universe to be inside. And I really want a Hornet. Like, I want to be able to fly around in one. That'd be so cool.
The Oculus Rift is getting you pretty close.
But yeah, it is, totally. And I saw the pictures today from the Star Wars, the new Star Wars, and they're actually building out all the physical models, and they had the much debated, is the Z-95 Headhunter or is it an X-Wing? And I was like, oh my god, it'd be so cool to just build one of our ships and be able to fly around in that.
Blast. In all of AC, what not yet introduced feature element are you most excited about adding?
Oh, boarding, FPS, for sure, hands down. I mean, it's that vision that Chris has always had of the first scene of Episode 4 in Star Wars, where you see Darth Vader and his group of stormtroopers cut through the door on the Corellian Corvette, and then they bust down, and there's a big laser fire, and like that is absolutely the coolest thing that I want to do. So hopefully down the road in one of the future releases of Arena Commander, as we start to, because Arena Commander is kind of like the test bed for all things spaceflight and space combat for Star Citizen, and so I cannot wait until we get the FPS team redacted to get their work to a far enough point that we can merge the two modules. And I just think it'd be so cool to be flying around, break onto a space station or break into another ship, have the big fight with those guys, take it over, and then fly it around yourself. And yeah, I also like the idea of pretending to be dead in space, floating there like a derelict, and having somebody try to come rob you and be waiting on the other side with a shotgun. It's just kind of fun too.
Dovafane. Will we be seeing player progression in the DFM? Will there be just a numeric ranking system, or a system where we can use accumulated points to attach more advanced weaponry, generators, etc. to our ships?
Yeah, so that is actually, first answer is yes, there's going to be leaderboards and rankings and all that. The second one I don't think has been entirely decided by Chris yet, and so we all have internally our own opinions on it, but I would personally like to see a system where people can earn and rank up in different ways and earn different weapons with, kind of along their ship's line. At the same time, we want to do testing, so we may just end up giving some things for free and then or having them cycle, or there's a lot of different approaches, and a lot of people have different opinions about the best way to handle it. So that one is a good question, but TBD.
All right, the fail boat. How are you going to balance additional ships as we approach DFM version 2 and beyond?
So balance is difficult in that right now we're doing Arena Commander, which is all about space combat, right? Well, and free flight, but people killing each other in multiplayer. And some of these ships have not been created with killing another ship in mind. So, for example, like the Aurora, probably not your best dogfighting ship. So having it go up against a Hornet isn't supposed to be fair all the time. That makes balancing for Arena Commander and balancing for Star Citizen two very different things. So one of the things that I've been thinking about with regards to Arena Commander is, at least on the scoring side, assigning each ship a point value. Essentially, like if you play a Warhammer tabletop game, every piece of gear that you put on has a point value associated with it. So you could kit out an Aurora to be super powerful, in which case, though, you've added so many things that its points become a lot more valuable. And that way, when a Hornet, let's just say a Hornet's supposed to be able to take on 2 Auroras, and that is, please don't quote me, that is just a rough thing.
Concern!
Yeah, exactly, right? But if it's supposed to be able to take out 2 Auroras, you would basically say, okay, well, one Aurora is worth 5 points each, and 1 Hornet base loadout is worth 10 points. So 2 to 1 right there. Then as you add different equipment to modify their point value, that could also be used by our matchmaking system to make it so that, and this is another concern I had, was you end up randomly matchmaking and you have a team with 10 Hornets and 10 Auroras against each other, and it's like, oh, well, this isn't going to end well. Then the other half of that is adding different game modes later on that will start to take advantage of the different classes of ships, because we do have exploration ships and we do have cargo ships. So maybe you have a protect the convoy mode, where essentially 2 different teams are vying for moving cargo back and forth from one location. So you have to attack and defend, and then the cargo capacity of the ship does play into it and is important. The different ideas we've had for exploration is, find the jump point before the other team does. So then all of a sudden you want a ship that's kitted out on your team for exploration and also dogfighting to defend those ships. So there's different ways that you can integrate the strengths of the different classes of ships into Arena Commander without them necessarily having to be dogfighting oriented. And there's ways that you can have the dogfighting oriented ships be balanced points value wise against the non-dogfighting related. Once again, incredibly long answer, but I think that'll at least answer the question.
You got it. And final question is from Wingman. Dear Travis, does the camera really add 15 pounds?
Yeah, actually, I've been told I most look like Brad Pitt in real life, but I have a feeling that I don't look that way on camera.
Yep, that's true. You are a very handsome man in reality.
Yeah, I know. I can hardly contain myself when I look in the mirror. It's just.
Right.
Well, that's all for our fan questions. I do have one personal question, though. Were you perhaps the inspiration for a beloved childhood character of some sort?
Yeah. So when I was a kid, and it is a true story, I used to read Spider-Man comics and DuckTales and Donald Duck comics. And I got tired of those, read them all, and my mom would then tell me stories about a purple car named Putt Putt, and then later on made a children's software product called Putt Putt the Purple Car. That was also where I learned about the media and not to tell them anything because they will quote you wrong. And that's where I got a quote in USA Today saying, "Her brain got it from me," says Travis Day, her son, which was quite embarrassing. Even at 7, I was like, that was a dick move, dude.
Well, thank you very much for
on here.
coming to talk to us and for Arena Commander. I mean, you've made a community a lot happier than it was 2 weeks ago.
Well, good. You know, and I will say, this has been hands down the most fun game project to work on, absolutely. And one of the most fun things about it is being able to interact with the community and get their feedback, positive, negative, nice, rude, doesn't matter. It's been a really, really fun project, and it wouldn't have been the same way without the community. So I'm really happy that we are finally able to give them something.
Well, how about you be the very first person to sign our wall?
Is this like our top tier wall?
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow, that actually looks like your name.
Nice.
Look
Beautiful.
at that. I'm just getting hot in here. It feels
Yeah,
like
it
a
is.
the Brad Pittness.
I think it's the Brad Pitt effect.
It's affecting me as well.
Yeah,
Oh.
seriously.
I'm gonna go get a soda and some Cheez-Its now.
But you got to keep up your physique.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard. It's not easy sitting in a chair.
Well, thank you very much, Travis, for both being with us today and for getting dogfighting out, because that has made our community a lot happier than it was a scant few weeks ago.
Yeah, the difference was pretty much instant. It was funny from the second, like right before it went up was like the worst I've seen it, and then right as it went up, everybody was like, "Oh, we love you! It's amazing!"
I think they were calling for both of our heads specifically. They were like, Ben Lesnick should be murdered, and Travis Day should be dragged into the street there. I think there were threads for both of us at that point.
Yep. Oh,
And they were like, everything's great.
yeah, no, and I'm actually that's been the nicest part is people seem genuinely happy with it, and the things that they aren't happy with, we're getting feedback on, and we've kind of lined it up so that we have a whole patch schedule set up, and we'll be able to respond to feedback and tune it and tweak it, and it's really actually quite fun. Chris was really right on about involving the community so early, because having them in here early really helps you to fine tune the gameplay to something that's fun for everybody before we're anywhere near release.
All right, well, thank you very much for being with us. Now let's go over to our assistant community manager, James. He's going to have the fan spotlight of the week. Over to you, James.
Thanks, Ben. I'm here with Jared Huckabee, or as you may know him on the forums and on YouTube, Disco Lando. Thanks for coming.
Hey, everybody.
All right, so how did you get started making videos?
Well, I was a pledger, backer, and I waited a while before I started. I'm a pretty skeptical guy sometimes, but I liked what I saw. And then I started watching Wingman Singer probably about halfway through last year, and I spent a weekend just catching up. I went from episode 1 to, I'm guessing they were in the 40s at some point. So I spent a good 40 some odd hours just
You just
me and
marathoned
Wingman. You know, the hair was growing, and but at the end of it, I'm like, wow, I really want to do something for these guys.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm seeing in these videos, people are sending booze, they're sending gifts and clothes
booze.
and stuff. Yeah, booze, and that's all great, and more power to those guys. But it wasn't me, you know. So I'm sitting here trying to rack my brain, thinking about what I can do, and I realized that like the day before, I downloaded a student copy of Adobe, just to kind of play with it. I realized I could.
Did you have any experience making videos before that?
No, I'd had 25 years as a stage actor.
Oh, I said, no, I just had 25 years of experience.
Well, that's not with Adobe
Yeah,
and
I
stuff.
got you.
But so in front of the camera and stuff.
Yeah.
And some things behind the scenes, I did stage crew and stuff like that. So I was familiar with the concepts and whatnot. But when I realized I had it, and I'm like, oh, I could make a video. And then I'm like, but what do I do? and then I realized that on a whim, I had named myself Disco Lando. So I was kind of stuck with that at this point when I realized I couldn't change my handle.
Oh, so you just fell
I'm
into
like,
your name?
all right. So I went back and I watched the original video from 1996 that we had done. And
What was that for, that video?
oh, that was just a couple guys on an AOL chat room. We were messing around.
AOL.
It's some Kenner videos. You can see them on YouTube.
Okay.
They're great in their own ways and whatnot. But now I'm like, but nobody ever talked in those. So then it was probably more hours than it should have been trying to figure out a Disco Lando voice. You know, and if you watch those first couple videos, it's pretty shady.
Well, let's hear it now. Come on.
Hello, Star Citizens. This is Lando.
Not bad.
Disco Lando.
It's not bad, dude.
No, it's not. It's you have to bring the bass up on the mic a little bit for it to really sound. I don't really
Gotcha.
sound like that in real life. But yeah, so then I just started making them, and originally they were just for the team to be seen. I mean, if you watch those first couple of videos, they're a little blue. there's a little innuendo
Yeah.
and whatnot. It was just meant to entertain the guys, Wingman and Mike Moreland and Mark and whatnot. And then he started mentioning them on the show, but he wasn't playing them. He was mentioning that he couldn't show them.
Yeah.
So I took that as a challenge. So it went even more blue with the next videos.
I've seen
and then
those.
and then he started showing them heavily edited versions.
Yeah.
But he started showing them. I'm like, oh, okay. If he's gonna show these, I have to start not sucking. So started practicing the voice a little bit more. I actually didn't own any figures when I started.
Oh, really?
This guy went. It was once I realized, okay, I'm going to start doing this.
So why was it Disco Lando then?
Like I said, it was a whim.
Just-
It was a lark. It was almost Jack Burton from Big Trouble in Little China. it could have been a coin flip. So it just happened to be that, and then I got pictures off the internet and we're cutting and pasting them. That's what I used for the first videos. And then when I started, I'm like, okay, I'm going to start doing more of these. I had to start buying the figures, and I now have probably more figures than I should.
What got you into Star Citizen specifically?
A really good friend, two really good friends of mine.
Just two?
We grew just these two specifically. We grew up playing Wing Commander. They had Wing Commander. I didn't. I actually grew up without a computer for a long time.
So did I.
And so I'd go over to their house and watch them play Wing Commander. And mainly, I just kind of sat in the chair behind them while they played because I just wanted to watch the movies.
I love doing
I
that
wanted
with
to see
games
Mark
too.
Hamill.
Just any games, like I love just playing games with friends, and they're like, "You want to play?" I'm like, "No, dude, I'm just watching."
Yeah. And well, then they'd eventually let me play, and I'd be really terrible.
Oh,
There used to be a keyboard shortcut to just make the Kilrathi blow up. I just like, just get me to the next movie because I'm terrible.
Yeah.
I'll probably be command and control for the new game.
That's cool.
Don't expect to see Disco flying. No Stoker Ace or anything.
What ship would you fly if you could?
My first ship that I bought was the Constellation. It's just of those original 5 ships. You looked at it, it just seemed like the iconic Star Citizen ship. And now there are all these other fancy ships that people are excited about, the 890 Jump, and whatnot. But I still come back to that Constellation, and what I have high hopes for it.
All right, this is a little of an out there question, but what does Star Citizen mean to you? I know it's broad, open-ended, but it's something I like asking because every person I ask gives me a completely different answer, and that's one of the things I really love about this game.
My answer today would be different than it was when I pledged.
Okay.
When I pledged, it was Chris Roberts, and it was I want to help him make a game the way that he wants to make it. And over the last year and a half, with all the community work, with shows like Wingman Senior, the next great Starship, 10 for the Chairman, and now this show continuing. I felt part of the process. I mean, it's whenever we hit another million, you go onto the chat, not chat roll, you go into RSI chat, and people gather to celebrate spending another $1 million.
I love that.
And that seems counterintuitive.
Yeah.
But it's because they don't think they're just giving the money away. They realize we made $45 million. And it was the inclusive nature of it. That's what it is now.
Yeah, that's the thing I love the most, and I'm glad that comes across because that mentality of we did it, comes over here too. Where every time we hit a milestone, it's like, all right, let's put this letter out quick so we can like celebrate with the fans, so we can celebrate with our backers. Like that communal relationship exists in this game, like more than I've ever seen anything.
Absolutely.
Ever. And being a part of that is crazy. And you are doing your part to keep that going.
I'm trying. I wanted to be a part of it any way I could. You know, my resume is a mess, so I was like, the likelihood of getting hired on was slim. So I'm like, how can I contribute to this in some way, shape, or form? And that's what it's done. And it's a little weird. It's a little out there. The really weird stuff I give to Lobot. You know, it's liberating being two people. You know, Disco Lando and Lobot.
Yeah.
You know, so I give the really weird stuff to him, and I sometimes do my own commentary as Lando. Like I did the Why I Pledged video after the Arena Commander reveal, because I wanted to remind people, you know,
Yeah.
that why we were doing this.
So Arena Commander's out. Have you played it at all yet?
Oh yeah, no, I in the first 16 hours I did 3 videos after that
Nice.
came out. So I probably only played it for 2 hours of the first 16. Got in, got the footage that I was looking to get, and then was building the videos.
Yeah.
Doing some things I'd never done before, just editing wise, and production wise. But no, it's fantastic. I'm lucky enough that I own all the 3 ships that are available now. So I really enjoy the visibility on the Aurora. I mean, I understand it's not as tough or as beefy as the other ships, but there is something about sitting in that cockpit and having that field of view, even below you. I love that, and that's one of the things I'm excited about with the Constellation too.
I think my favorite ship to fly actually is a 300i, but Aurora is pretty nice too.
Yeah. RSI.
So what's next for Disco Lando's videos?
I've started a new series, or I'm starting a new series. It's sitting in an inbox somewhere here, hopefully. It's an educational series for folks who aren't familiar with Star Citizen.
Okay.
Like if you just heard about Star Citizen today. So it's a little less tongue-in-cheek. It's definitely a lot less innuendo. Like it's meant for somebody who may not be familiar with not just Star Citizen, but Disco
So
Lando.
you're leaving out the blue is what you're saying?
Yeah. I'm doing 7 voices in it. I discovered that my limit is 7 voices.
7
That's as
voices?
many voices as I can do.
I
And
can
no,
do
will
one,
not
this
do-
one, the one you're currently hearing.
Well, I can do this one that you're currently hearing. All the other ones require a little bit of modulation.
Oh, okay.
So, but that's it's just more playing Arena Commander, more making videos, and that's I just want to contribute whatever way I can.
Well, thank you so much for doing so. I think that's all the time we got for you today.
Yeah.
I
I noticed we have some drinks, complimentary
All right.
beverages.
Cheers. Back to you, Ben.
Thanks, James. That's really cool. We really love our fans.
Can't believe how creative. I could never do anything like that guy.
No, I know. That's why we have the fans to do it.
So this brings us to the end of our very first episode. We hope you enjoyed it. We are getting settled here. We'd like your feedback on the forums. The aim is to better connect the community with the team and the game. So any ideas you have for including yourselves in this process, we'd like to hear them. New segments, anything you can think of. It just like the game development, we will be taking your suggestions into account with future episodes.
And where can people submit their ideas?
They can submit them right here. Again, thank you all, and stay tuned for next week when we have one of our real celebrities,
David Hobbins, who's out buying hair products right now.
artist David Hobbins. He's going to talk about the Mustang, the new Constellation, and all the cool stuff he has done. And it's going to be a good episode, so check us out next week.
See you next week.
See you in the verse.
Oh, see you around the verse.
Around the verse. There you go.
Around the verse, in the verse. Oh, boy.
Captain, the forums, hurry!
Not again. And the keyboard helmsman. Here we go.